The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been.
And there's this voice inside of you that says, no one's watching.
Mold yourself into who you want to be.
And so when we think about discipline, it's really about like, what promises are you going to keep? And the tricky thing is you're keeping promises to yourself that nobody even knows that you made, right? It's not, I have to do this embarrassing thing, or, then I'll retire. They're not even, you're not really putting your ass on the line in that sense, but you've said to yourself, you're going to do this thing. Now that hard thing is approaching. And am I going to come up with an excuse? Am I going to give myself a way out? Or I'm going to do it. And then when you do it, now you're in the middle of it. And now you're tired. And there's this voice inside of you that says, no one's watching. You can stop anytime you want. Just turn around, just go back or slow down. It'd be easier if you slowed down. That's the thing that you're getting out of it, is the ability to do hard stuff that you don't want to do for uncertain benefits or benefits way down the line. Like if you can cultivate that, you're golden. That's where books come from. That's where businesses come from. That's where losing weight comes from. All of it comes from the ability to do that hard thing you don't want. And I love that. It's like, hey, am I making good choices? Like, I don't think about, is the book coming together? Is it working? Is it brilliant? I just go like, and I try to radically scale down what I'm asking of myself day to day. So like, it's more, am I making a positive contribution today? Like, I just try to make a positive contribution every day to what I'm working on.
People get brainwashed. Happens all the time. People get brainwashed. They get brainwashed in cults, in codependent relationships, in academic institutions, in government institutions. People get brainwashed. They can get brainwashed in a way that completely changes the way they act. They can get brainwashed in a way that completely changes the way they think. And in some cases, people get brainwashed where it completely changes who they are. Their minds are pliable and get reformed into a new model. And when this happens, usually that new mind that has been created, usually it has been created to be subservient to the cult leader or the organization that has done the brainwashing. So that's what makes brainwashing so horrendous, is that you end up being controlled by someone else. And it's not that hard to do. It's not that hard to be victim to the brainwashing, where you end up being controlled by outside forces. Now you take that, and on the other side, isn't it crazy that you can barely control you? You can barely control your own actions, and yet you could be brainwashed by some external force, but you can't even control you. What you need to do is brainwash yourself, indoctrinate yourself. Repeat your sacred chant that discipline equals freedom. Follow the rituals of iron. Make sacrifices to the burpee god. Bring other people along and brainwash with them. Mold yourself into who you want to be. Stronger, faster, smarter, better. You have the power to do it. Make it happen.
The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, I've always been this way. Okay, well, if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me any longer. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first. I am much more valuable to my family and to my community because I was willing to let them go through the door myself, teach myself, learn myself, condition myself, and then come back and get them. I'm much more valuable to them now. But I had to go through a window time of 10 years of judgment. You leaving us, hanging out with white people all the time. You going to these crazy countries. We don't know what you. I had to be willing to allow my conviction to make me inconvenienced. See, we want to grow, but we want to stay liked by everybody. I was willing to be my own rescue at the risk of your approval. That's lonely, by the way. Why won't most people do it? Because it's scary and it's lonely. So what did I do? I was willing to find people who had what I didn't have, who were living lives that I wasn't living, who believed things that I didn't know about, and I was willing to become their student. I got up every day and I ate a slice of humble pie. See, when you get to this level, even me 10 years ago, you can get caught up by reading your own fine print. And we get caught up in our bios, we get caught up in our status. Then the wind keeps going and going and growing and growing. So I went to people that knew what I didn't know. And I killed my ego every day. If you wake up every day and say, I have nothing to protect, I have nothing to prove, I have nothing to hide, I have nothing to defend. Now, who do I choose to be? Because your energy is consumed with protecting, proving, hiding, and defending. But if you let go of that, then now you're in creation. Every day I told myself that. Every day I got in the mirror and I said 3 sentences. And I gave each sentence 7 different endings. And at times I was crying so hard I couldn't understand myself because the ending, the sentence was so difficult to say. Every day I looked in the mirror and said, Lisa, I'm proud that you. And I found 7 different things to celebrate Lisa for because we are under-celebrated. If you can live in duality, constant duality, the freedom will be earth-shaking if you can live in that. See, either you don't want to be as great as you really are, and you're trying to dim your light so that others won't feel insecure about themselves in your presence. And so you keep playing at 79 watts when you know you're supposed to shine at 159 watts. And you keep checking the temperature of the room to see what the room can handle versus just giving the room you and letting them, if your light's too bright, then let them put on some shades. Can you give yourself permission to live in the duality of your imperfections and your smallness and what you're learning and what you still have to learn and your greatness and your brilliance and your light? Can you allow them to coexist and then serve them up to the world? To love you, to see you, to inhale you.